Hi guys, it's me Kylie. So it is Sunday night and things are going crazy with Veda. So I uploaded Veda day 2. If you missed that, go ahead and check it out. I'll have it in the cards as well as in the description. Today, I want to wrap up July. July was kind of a flop for me, and that's because of a couple reasons. The first reason being work was crazy. First half of my work month was just nuts. My coworker, so at work, I'm kind of like the office lady, like the receptionist and scheduler. And then there's another lady who does the same thing as me. She's technically the office manager, but she went on vacation, which left me to handle pretty much all of the office stuff by myself. And really, we should have a third person helping us, kind of like a floater. So I was kind of doing the work of like 2.5 people for like 2 weeks. So that was fun. It left me no time to read. I was exhausted. I was extremely busy all day for 2 weeks. So I just didn't do a lot. I'm amazed I even got some stuff filmed and uploaded during that time. The day that she came back from vacation, my husband goes on vacation. And the way that we kind of work, because we're both really heavy sleepers, we'll sleep through our alarms, and because we have opposite shifts, we kind of rely on each other to get up in a timely manner, which is probably a problem. He would come home from work, he'd get home about 6 a.m., he'd make sure I'm up in the morning before my son is up. I would get my coffee, film a video, edit it, upload it. That was my routine on my days. So all of my videos have been in real time up until recently. But because he's home, he's sleeping during the night with me, and he's sleeping in because it's his vacation. So I don't get up on time. So for about a week and a half, I just wasn't posting anything. So that's kind of the delay, but along with him not being there for my regular routine, it threw me off with reading as well, because I was spending time with him and I just wasn't dedicating the time to reading a book, during the hours after he goes to work and I'm still kind of doing my thing without the child. So I was spending my time with him. We were watching a lot of movies and all of this stuff. So I got 2 books read, one like novella, or not novella, an actual novel, and then one graphic novel. But because that's not very much to talk about, I'm also going to talk about kind of the stuff that we've watched. I watched a couple movies since he's been on vacation with me, and I want to talk about those. So I'm going to start with the books, because this is first and foremost a booktube channel. So I read, Heartstopper. I'll put a picture here. I finally finished that. I've been talking about that for weeks throughout July. I read that. It was so adorable. 5 out of 5 stars. It was just so freaking cute. Like my whole freaking heart. And it was just interesting watching this self-discovery happen within the characters and the realizations that they've had. It felt reminiscent to myself. As like a teenager, kind of like experiencing things and realizing what I like and what I don't like. 10 out of 10 recommend. It was just amazing. And I'm trying to get my hands on the sequels. My library only has the one. So I'm trying to find where I can get them. I did watch Brianna's stream from today about like reading more, and she mentioned Hoopla has a lot of like graphic novels and stuff. So I might check that. Was it Hoopla? Yeah, Hoopla. I might check them out, see if they have the sequels on there. That will help me a lot. But I really loved it and I want to continue it. And then I read The Chain by Adrienne McKinty. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Sometime at the end of the month, I was getting ready to take on the reading rush and during a bad time, and it didn't go at all. So scratch everything reading rush related. And I was trying to continue on all those library books that I got in June, and it just didn't happen. Things got busy. Like I didn't even know my coworker was going on vacation until like the day before she was going on vacation. So everything just fell on my lap. I didn't get a chance to read these. And then it was a Saturday. I was like, I should probably check the due date on these books. And I realized they were all due on Monday with no renewals. So I ended up trying to cram in Clap When You Land. And I've mentioned this in my vlog that I uploaded today, but I just didn't like, it wasn't bad. I really enjoyed it. The plot line was very interesting. It was like very emotional, but I was having a hard time following everything, and I think it was because it was written in prose, and prose and my brain just don't mix well. So it really wasn't a fault of the storyline or the content. It was just the formatting of the book that was really getting me, and I couldn't follow along well. I felt by the time I got to the middle of it, I was really, really lost, and I just couldn't continue with it. Otherwise, I would have read this book and not have much to say about it. So I DNF'd that. That was a personal choice. I think this book has a lot of value for people, and I think you should read it if you are not like me and you can follow along with prose really well. So DNF'd that, and I decided also at that point I had to turn all these library books in. I'm kind of like getting into this weird funk where my routine's off and nothing is fitting. So I picked up a thriller book. So I went on my Libby app and I found pretty much the first thriller I saw that was marked as available and was an audiobook, and it was The Chain. And I loved it so much. It was so good. It was everything that I wanted it to be. So The Chain follows this kind of like chain. Okay, so I guess I'll just kind of unravel the first parts for you. So it opens up with this girl. She gets kidnapped, and then her mother gets this phone call basically explaining that in order to release her daughter, she has to pay a ransom and kidnap another child. Once that is completed, she gets her daughter back. But that doesn't end there, because before she can release the child that she's kidnapped, the other family has to do the same thing, and so on and so on. Hence The Chain. And I have a really weird connection with this book. First off, I love this stuff. Very high paced. It was amazing. If you like really high paced thrillers, this one will be it for you. This book, funny thing, I have a really funny story. So it opens up, this isn't really a spoiler, but the kid who gets kidnapped, her name is Kylie, okay? That's my name. So I'm sitting here listening to this book on audio, and I'm hearing this bad guy go, "Shh, Kylie, you'll be quiet, won't you? You'll be good, right?" And it was throwing me off so bad. But later on, there is another character in the book who has my sister's name. Her name is Amelia. And that was really throwing me off too. So I'm like, what? Are they gonna like list my other sister's names next? Are they gonna list my dad's name? What's going on? So that was just interesting. That was a fun little tidbit. And my coworker actually told me that I should Google and see where he's from. He's from Ireland, not where I'm from, but I thought that was funny. But this book really, I guess we can kind of go if you like this book, then you'll like this book. Back in October of last year, I binge read No Exit by Taylor Adams, and this felt very on par with that book. So if you really like that book, I'd recommend giving The Chain a try. It was in the same category. It was just as fast paced. I think I like No Exit a little bit more, but overall they're both 5-star books for me. And I can't highly recommend them enough. So those are the 2 books that I've read. Now, as far as other media that I have consumed throughout July, it was on the 31st, me and my husband watched The Blob, the original 1958 Blob, and it was great. It was cheesy, it was old. I have this thing for old movies. I just love them, and I kind of I'm into film and film analysis, and it's really interesting to me to watch old movies and kind of see where all the inspiration from the movies we have now kind of derived from. It's just interesting to me. So it was really, even though it was kind of cheesy and gimmicky, it was really interesting to see kind of what the expectations were for film back then, especially in something that's like a horror movie. Because the Blob was not scary. It looked like slime that kids play with. But I did find it really interesting how the movie progressed, because there were a lot of moments where a character would say, "We've done all these things, there's only one more thing to try," but they didn't show or mention any of those things that they've already tried. And that happened several times, and I picked up on that right away. It was really, really interesting. Or in the movie, the original person who gets in contact with the Blob, ends up in horrible fates, but his dog's left behind, and they didn't make the connection that this man was in this house and that's his dog, they just assumed that the house they stumbled upon, not knowing the connection between the blob and the man, was an abandoned house and there was a stranded dog. Yes, the dog was stranded, but there was no real way for them to know that. So that was interesting. It's just really interesting to see how these plot lines like come together. I really liked it. It's not something I would look at like super critically just because of the time period that it was filmed in, but it was really worth a watch if you're really into like really old horror movies. We also watched Booksmart. This one was just kind of a for funsies one. I've already seen it, but my husband hasn't seen it. He thought it was pretty funny. It was just one of those like, it's a Saturday night, we've drank some alcohol, we have some pizza, let's just watch some stupid movie. It was really entertaining, and I recommend that movie. We also watched The Lighthouse, which is like, it's a new movie. It was filmed in 2019. Has Robert Pattinson in it and Willem Dafoe, and it's like filmed in square, so like the black borders are here, and it's in black and white, and it's really following these two lighthouse keepers on this like island rock, and they're taking care of the lighthouse, but they end up going kind of like crazy, you know, like sailors do, and Robert Pattinson ends up seeing all these things, and it's one of those things where like you don't really know for sure what's happening or who's going crazy and who's not going crazy. I didn't like it at all. 1-star movie for me. It was just so weird and bizarre, and I kind of see what the director was trying to portray, but it just didn't do it for me. At one point I saw a mermaid vagina and I just didn't need to see that. I don't think it was executed in any way that connected with me, so take that with what you will. That's really all I've got as far as that. I'm trying to watch more movies. This was a goal that I had as like a New Year's resolution, and it's been on my mind ever since. And I even took the plunge and got Regal Unlimited 3 weeks before quarantine hit, and then all the theaters closed. So I haven't really been able to watch anything except for if I check it out from the library or if I get it on like a streaming service or something. So if you have any movie recommendations or even TV show recommendations, I would love to hear it. With the theaters still being closed, I'm not able to go see new movies, so I would love to see some recommendations. I'm open for pretty much anything. I'm not picky as far as genre goes. The only thing is, don't suggest a zombie movie. I really don't like zombies, and that is personal reasons, but please don't suggest a zombie movie. Anything else is pretty much a-okay. Oh, we watched another movie. We watched The Ritual as well, and this is on Netflix, and this is about a group of friends who are going like hiking in like Sweden or something, and they get lost in this like forest, and it has something to do with like mythology. I thought it was interesting. It was a thriller movie for sure, definitely not horror, but thriller. And I was on my seat I was like on the edge of my seat the entire time. It was fantastic in my opinion. If you're looking at it from like a critical lens, probably not, but if you're looking into a thriller to be thrilled like I am, then it's worth it for sure. I just really wanted to know what happened. I was like guessing who's gonna be picked off first. So definitely something to check out. That's all I got for you. I thank you so much for checking out my videos. I'm very excited to see what other videos, or how I can construct the videos I have planned for the rest of the month. And if you have any suggestions on anything you'd like to see, please leave them down below, or you can message me on Twitter. I'll always have my inbox open. Anyways, you have a good night or morning, or wherever you are, just have a good one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.